Hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Legendary Apartment Brokers. Today is Monday, June 9th, 2025, and this is the KC Multifamily Minute. All right, let's get right into it. What do we got here? What's new? What's coming on the market for multifamily? How's this fitting for your 1031 exchange? What kind of class or location is this? Doing the quick math here. What's the price per unit? And how this is going to impact you if you're an active investor. Okay, so what about the open market? So right now in the open market, we've got 87 listings on the MLS that are $500,000 plus. 68 of those are available. That is, to me, incredible. If I recall correctly, there were some around 40 available, typically over the past year or so, plus or minus maybe 10, but over 60 and dang near 70 to me seems like a record, at least in recent past. 19 are under contract, so you got 68 available that are $500,000 plus. A lot of these are, duplexes, fourplexes, all in line with what else we got going on. So 68 for you to go out there and take a look at. I've covered every single one of those as they've hit the open market and gave you my 2 cents on that as far as class, location, price per unit, and where it would fit in for your 1031 exchange or being an active investor. Now, we also have over here for podcast listeners, I've got myself LoopNets pulled up, and there are actually 45 out there, but only 42 available. So 3 listed as under contract, multifamily, no matter the price range, but this is multifamily only here in the Kansas City metro. There are actually no new listings on LoopNet over the past 7 days. So just want to put that out there. Nothing new to talk about there. However, on the MLS, we do have really 3 new listings. So that's kind of a reprieve from where we were at recently. And yes, it looks like there's maybe 6 new ones out there, but really there's only 3. There's a couple of reposts in here and repackages, which is fine. But 3 to talk about. And then next week, I will talk about how May compared to years past and how we're doing kind of year to date on transactions across the metro here in the small multifamily space. So let's get right into it. So what do we got here? So we've got this one right here. So podcast listeners, I'm going to zoom into the historic Northeast. I don't do a ton of business over here. It's just not my forte, not something I do a ton of work over here. But I do think that this area is becoming better and better with the right investment. So I'm still not going to take a ton of time on it. But this one right here is $900,000. And this one is for 10 units. So you're looking at basically $90,000 a unit, historic Northeast. I would consider this a Class C or C minus or D area. It's going to be block by block specific over there. So take a look, see what you think there. I'm not going to take a ton of time on it, okay? Well, since we're already here, let's talk about the couple other ones. I'll just briefly mention this one right here for $825. For podcast listeners, I'm zooming into Midtown, the heart of Midtown here, right off of north of Armour Boulevard, south of East 31st Street, right off of Main Street. I talked about this last year. This is actually 4 tiny houses, all on one parcel. So you can actually do an owner-occupied loan here, $825,000. So you're looking at over $200,000 per building. But again, these are all houses built in somewhere around 2019. So could be an interesting fit there for a 1031 exchange if you like the urban core, love Midtown, love everything the streetcar is going to bring to that. Okay, again, we've seen that one over the last year or so. I do like that opportunity, still like that opportunity due to the year constructed as well as the location. Okay, so next up, we've got this property here west of Main Street off of Southwest Traffic Way. Again, in Midtown, podcast listeners, we're on 39th Street and Southwest Traffic Way, which is going to be west of Main, west of Broadway. Not quite to KU Med, but it's 12 units for $1.1 million, which is actually about $91,000 per unit, which is a pretty dang great price for the Midtown area. If you've got a 1031 exchange, this is like a Class A minus location. It looks like maybe they're smaller units here. They haven't been completely rehabbed. There's some work that's been done. But again, that's somewhere in that $91,000 price per unit. I like a lot of that. Could be a good fit for your 1031 exchange. You got $1 million, $1.2 million, maybe $1.5 million, so you can get a rehab loan as part of that. Could be a good opportunity. And if you're an active investor, you love the urban core of Kansas City, something you could definitely take a look at. Let's take a look at that together and see how that might fit in. Okay? All right, zooming back out here. Again, we're on the MLS. We're on my website, legendaryapartmentbrokers.com. what else is new on the open market over the last 7 days. I'm not going to talk about, I'm scrolling down here. There's a series of duplexes in Lenexa that pop up from time to time. I'm not going to talk about those, but there is one last opportunity here, which is in Raytown. So podcast listeners zooming into Raytown, kind of on the south side of Raytown before you get to 470. It's a nice fourplex, $500,000 fourplex. They don't have garages, but it looks really nice on the inside with LVP flooring, stainless steel appliances, newer counters, newer cabinets. It's got, tiled tub surround. It's got hookups for washer and dryer. $500,000 fourplex is a good price in this condition. I think if you got a 1031 exchange, you like maybe Class B minus C plus location, could be a good fit for you there. You can also live in one unit likely and rent out the others. So take a look at that one. Again, if you got this $500,000 price range, please reach out. We can talk about that further and see how that might fit in for your active real estate investing. I've seen some worse properties go under contract. I don't know their sold price yet, but for more than $500,000 in Raytown. My personal opinion is I've got fourplexes out, of course, in Grain Valley area that are larger, have garages that are $550,000 or less, that I think is a better deal. But if you're tapped out of that $500,000 range, could be an interesting opportunity for you to take a look at that one for your 1031 exchange or active real estate investing. You want to keep adding fourplexes to your to your portfolio. That's $125,000 per unit there. Okay. All right, guys and gals, that's every single thing that's come to the new market here in the last 7 days. You know how to reach me. This is Alex Olson with Legendary Apartment Brokers here in Kansas City. We'll talk to you soon.